Hi guys, welcome back to the weird side of YouTube. I'm your host, author DC Knipe, and this is the Writing Rainbow, the show where I talk about writing, give writing advice, talk about scripts or novels or the writing of video games or movies or TV shows or anything like that. I also talk about tropes and blah 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 blah, so on and so forth, but today we are talking about writing advice, and specifically, if you saw the title of the video, we are talking about pantsing versus plotting. Now, I did a little bit on this on my recent Alice's Adventures in Wonderland book review, because I was talking about the difference between nonsense writing and pantsing, because they kind of are a little bit similar. I will go over that as well in this one. You don't have to worry about watching a whole video just for a 10-second clip. But, yeah, I'm excited to go over it, and I hope you guys are too, so let's get weird. Weird. Theodore is in his Valentine's outfit today. I made a little faggot harness for him, and he's got some heart boxers, so he's going to be wearing this all month long for February, and I think that's very cute. But we are going to put him out of the way for now, and we are going to be talking about writing. Yes. So, as I mentioned earlier, this side of my mustache is really unruly today, and it's very annoying. As I mentioned earlier, I talked a little bit about pantsing versus plotting in my Alice's Adventures in Wonderland book review. Specifically, just to compare pantsing to nonsense writing. Nonsense writing is the act of writing stream of consciousness, random stuff that comes on the top of your head for the purpose of being funny and weird and absurd. Pantsing is writing things on the top of your head not to be weird or absurd. Just like, I'll have to explain it a little bit better. So I just wanted to get the Alice's Adventures in Wonderland explanation out of the way first, but plotting is how most people think a book is written. Plotting is like plot points, writing plot points, mapping out the entire story, all the characters, their dialogue, everything before you actually sit down to write. So you know, like a script for your book. You're writing everything that's going to happen in like basic bullet points. You know all the hit points where everything's going to happen. The hero's journey is all mapped out. The main characters goes to this place, he meets this person, he gets this thing. It's all mapped out. That's plotting. Pantsing is kind of the opposite of that when it comes to creative writing. It's just making everything up as you go is the basis of it. But there's a lot more to it than that. It's actually called intuitive writing. I am a mix of both, but I realized I'm a writer because I had a growing passion with pantsing writing. So like, I'm not sure if all writers do this, but I see basically like kind of movies in my head, and I write them down in the form of stories. And as I see them in my head, a lot of times I'm writing them. That for me is pantsing. Nowadays, I'm more of a hybrid between the two. If I get a good idea for a novel or a short story, I jot everything down, the basics of it. A lot of my ideas come from my dreams now, so I keep a dream journal and my nightmares, and I plot down random things from the dreams that I want to write. So it's kind of a hybrid mix of the two. And when I have those plot points, I'll also like have in between stages where I'm just pantsing and seeing the video connect the dots, if that makes any sense. Like I'll see a video in my head and I will fly by the seat of my pants. That's where the term pantsing comes from. As you can tell, this video is not scripted. I wanted it to come straight from the heart. All of my writing videos I want to come straight from the heart because I am very passionate about writing. Hopefully I am conveying it in a way that you can understand. As I said, the term pantsing comes from flying by the seat of your pants. It does not mean pulling someone's pants down, although you can write about that if you want. A lot of people do. It sells quite a lot of money. It makes quite a lot of money. But as I said, a lot of people are pantsers, and they think that they're plotters, and they don't realize that you can be a pants writer because they think that they're just failed writers because they can't, their mind doesn't work in the way that a plotter's does. And then a lot of plotters apparently don't see the movies in their head like I do, like other pantsers do, intuitive writers do. It just kind of happens. I'll see it. It's not like a vision or anything spiritual like that, but I will get like lost. And a lot of times in my life, especially when I have a lot of mental stress, this becomes an issue. It's like, what is the word? Dissociation. Sorry. It's become dissociation. Not so more recently in my 30s, but teenage years and early 20s, mid 20s, it definitely became a sort of dissociation pattern for me, where I would just kind of hide in my head and watch these videos, these movies of my own personal wonderland and the crazy kooky characters that I came up with that live in me. I would watch basically movies in my head that I directed, wrote, and starred in. I'm not sure. I'd never heard any other writers say that they did this, so it might be just a mental health thing that I, as a writer, use. But I'm not. I've met artists that do this, and they paint what they see. But not a writer yet. But it's probably out there. I'm not saying that I'm unique or anything, but sorry for that tangent. But I wanted to explain that part of why I'm a writer is because I can't not write. The worlds in my head demand to exist in mine in the form of a book. The people in my head demand to exist in my world in the form of characters in said book. So, as I said, I, at this point, am a hybrid of the two. I think people are calling it plotzer something. I don't know. Plantser? I don't like that. I don't like that at all. It sounds like I'm planting pants. I do not like it. But I am a hybrid of the two. I still do the videos in my head and write them down, but at this point I also know that I want to be present in my craft. It's not just like something that comes from my head automatically like a signal. I also want to edit it and craft it and make it better. It's always been a passion of mine. It's always been kind of an art and a release. But at this point, I also want to perfect it and make it beautiful by my standards, as well as standards that other people can use to heal. So I don't really, I'm not, if you're become a writer for the money, you're in the wrong business. But obviously sales are great. People looking at your stuff is great. But I write to help people heal. I write to heal myself, and I write to help others heal. And I know this is very rambly. I forgot to take my medication today, but it's fine. The main difference between pantsing and plotting is plotting is when you have a vision that you want to stick to, and it doesn't mean you can't add to it. And it doesn't mean while you're in the middle of writing or editing, you're like, oh, this would be great, let me add this here. That's not what it means. It doesn't have to be rigid. But it just means you have a plan. Pantsing is the opposite. We're raw dogging it, baby. We are going in raw, and we do not give a fuck what could go wrong. We are just going. I scared the shit out of my ex-boyfriend once. I think I was 23 at the time, and we were living with his parents. He was in school, and I was trying to make it as a writer or whatever. I also had like a job at a gas station, but that's neither here nor there. Obviously, because I wanted to contribute to the house, but whatever. as I was saying, I think people call it in the zone. It becomes like a meditative state for me. I don't think that it's unique. I think FKA Twigs talks about it on her new album as, like, she calls it asexua, which is strange because it's not sexual at all to me. Maybe it's not to her. I haven't really looked into that album. I do like her as an artist. I do want to get that album, but I'm not sure yet when I'm going to do that. But it is like you are in the zone. You are in a trance. All artists feel this at some point during different projects. And I usually get it when I'm staying up all night writing. Like, all night writing. That was my favorite thing to do when I was manic and unmedicated, was staying up all night writing, drinking, having a good time, listening to music, seeing these videos in my head, and just typing away endlessly. That is what scared my ex, because we could carry on conversations. He and I could carry on conversations while I was typing and writing dialogue, action scenes, death scenes, sex scenes, and we were talking about something the entire time. That scared the fuck out of him, and he thought I was possessed. Because he would go back or look over my shoulder, no mistakes. 5 paragraphs in one conversation. Did not look at the screen, looked at his eyes the entire time, still blinking because I'm not, dead inside, but no mistakes, no misspelled words, no double spaces, because I was in the zone. I knew what I was doing. I was pouring it from my head to the page like a true artist. And that is neither here nor there when it comes to pantsing versus plotting, but again, like the Alice in Wonderland nonsense writing thing, the zone, or whatever it's called, the meditative state that artists get, is adjacent to it. So I wanted to mention that. It might have its own video. I don't know if it'll be under this or the art aquarium, because it is all art in general, not just writing. But long story short, plotting is for people that have a plan and want to stick to that plan. Pantsing is for people that like a raw dog life. You grab the bull by its testicles. So that's basically the end of this video. I love you guys. Theodore is very excited for Valentine's month, and if you're watching the news, I know everything is scary and terrifying, but we're here for you. We love you, and we just gotta stick together, stand up for what's right. But I love you guys. We are doing a giveaway. Details in description. Check out our shop, prismaticdreams.com. Check out my website. I have books available. I have music available. All links in description. We sell merch, t-shirts, all kinds of really cool stuff on Prismatic Dreams. I have a lot going on, you guys. Just take a look at it for me, please. My newest release is The Exorcist Acolyte, a novella. It sounds like pretentious. It's my first novella I've ever written, but it sounds very pretentious, and I don't like that word. But it's basically like a short novel. It's a horror novel. Check it out. It's about demonic possession and exorcism, but it's gay, and sadly relevant to the time that we're living in. But yeah, other than that, I love you guys. I do have a short story premiering. I'm not sure if it's an old short story. I wrote it like 3 years ago, and it was already on YouTube in a different video of a collection of short stories written by me and other people, other writers in the community, indie writers. But I am doing this thing where I am collecting short stories where I'm talking to the audience and putting them on YouTube. It is called The Devil, Halloween Short Story by DC Knight, blah, blah, blah. You guys will like that. I know it's like premiering in February and it's a Halloween one, but gotta start somewhere. But I love you guys. I'll see you guys next time. I look like I'm on crack, I promise I'm not. I'm just manic.